Hi everybody, it's Agnes Vivarelli, and today we've got part 2 with one of my favorite people, Seth. How are you, little?
Hello, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to see you again. I
Oh,
really
it's great to see
enjoyed
you.
our interview. It was fun. It was fun. So, yeah, we thought we'd do this a second time, and we can talk about manifesting Neville, all sorts of good things that have been happening to you, how you've been applying stuff. I think people love hearing how you apply stuff because you, in your last interview, you talked a lot about, the stuff that went on and how you have been manifesting. And I think getting the internal contents of your consciousness really helps people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's been going on? Since our last interview, what's popping?
There's lots of stuff going on. So I have actually um, started my own like little side business, and it
Yeah.
kind of all came together just because my using my consciousness.
Yep.
So that's great. So let me get into how I did that.
Yep.
Is I was wondering because I've always wanted to be one of those people that wants multiple. Oh, hold on.
Yep.
Whoa. Am I on video? Here
No,
we go.
you're back.
All
You're
right, where we
back.
go. Okay, so I always want to be one of those people that has multiple streams of income coming in,
Mm.
and so right now, well, now I have two, but right now I had one for the time being, and
Yep.
I was like, what's going to be the next thing that's going to be that's going to add to my multiple stream of income, and not only be something that's small, but something that's going to be something that I can take in a lot of income with.
Yep.
So instead of trying to find something, I let something come to me,
Okay.
and because I didn't want to do anything in the process. I wanted everything to just come and fall on my lap.
Yep.
So I really wanted to trust the process in doing that. So what I did is I just kind of like meditated on it, and then I came across a video, just stumbled across it somehow, about buying and selling smartphones.
Okay.
And so I've been doing that, and it's been going fantastic.
Yeah.
And now I got some things going on behind the scene that's going to scale it up to the next level, and it's going to go national. So
No. So so you buy them secondhand, you buy them new, or?
yeah, new, used, cracked, anything.
Okay. And where do you
Yep.
sort, do you get them from one person, or do you have to source them from different places, or?
So right now I put out ads and I go and pick them up
Okay.
personally by myself. But
Yep.
now since it's going nationally, we're starting a website. So
Cool. Good
yeah.
stuff. Good stuff.
Yes. And that
Ideas.
all came into being without me doing anything.
Great.
Even the people that are contributing to it all came in, and I didn't have to do anything on the outside.
Unreal. Unreal. And you just do that after your job?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lunchtime, after work, weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh
Cool.
yeah. And it's
That's
amazing.
it is. It's so good
Yes.
starting new little businesses and projects. Like, it's so
Yeah.
much fun. It is so much fun.
Definitely.
Especially using, like you said, I'm going to let this come to me, using the law of attraction, using imagination to create it and bring stuff to you. So much better than spending hours and hours and hours researching stuff.
Yes.
You can avoid that whole step.
Right. Exactly. And I did.
And I did. Well, that's good. That's a good little adventure. So in terms of your daily routine, have you got like stuff that you're visualizing, imagining every day? Have you got a daily
So
law of attraction routine going?
yeah, so we did speak about that in the last video about
Mm.
so it hasn't changed much.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same. So if anybody's wondering, they can check out the last video.
Yep.
But
Yep.
the only thing that I have changed is at night, while like right as I'm going to sleep, I have affirmations recorded in my own voice that
Yep.
play through the whole entire night.
Yeah.
So I really think that I really noticed that having affirmations in your own voice is a lot
Yep.
more powerful than using someone else's.
I agree.
So
Because
that's
if
what
you're
I've
talking to
that's
you,
what I've added to my daily routine.
yeah,
Yep,
that's good.
exactly.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's a new thing I added, and then
Yep.
other than that, it's pretty much the same.
Okay. And have you got like in terms of stuff that's ahead of you, stuff you want to manifest, have you always got like 2 or 3 things in the pipeline that you're looking
Right.
forward to?
Yeah, always. So once I've finished something and it's going to come to me and I know it, I start on the next thing.
Yeah.
And that proves that you have faith in the last thing that you've created.
Yep.
So sustaining the feeling of the last thing that you created and going towards the next already implies that you've manifested the thing that you have said you tried. If that makes sense, what I'm trying to say.
It does. And you know what? That ties in with Neville's that Sammy's question thing. I know a lot of people are debating whether that's even Neville's lecture, but that whole thing of Sammy's question where Neville says, if you're not manifesting something, it's because you haven't accepted it. You haven't
Right.
accepted that your desire has
created
itself, like what you're talking about.
Yeah, which you shouldn't focus on desiring. You should focus on what you've already got.
Yeah, and
meaning that your desire is already finished.
Yeah. So how do you know, let's break down the mechanics of that a little bit more. How do you know when to actually let it go?
When you have 100% faith. So meaning that I don't understand, like when my term of letting go, which is I think letting go is one, not constantly desiring. So
yes.
And then getting rid of all the other crap that is hindering your desire. So the opposing thoughts. And then those two mixed together equals letting go, which means pretty much 100% faith, which pretty much means living from the end, which pretty much means you're going to get your desire.
Yeah.
Doesn't pretty much mean it means that you're going to get your desire no matter what it is.
Okay. That was really cool. Go through it one more time because that was a good nugget.
Okay.
Go through that whole thing you just said because that's
okay.
really important. Yeah.
Okay. So step 1.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the crap. Get rid of all the crap that is interfering with your desire.
As in thoughts?
2, as in thoughts, as in feelings, as in looking at the outside world as finished, anything like that.
Yep.
Know that this world is just a dream world and it's an illusion.
Yep.
And you can form it any way you want to. And that everyone is you pushed out.
Yep.
2, stop desiring. So it's no longer a desire. It's a finished fact.
Yes.
So it's not I'm focusing on getting my desire. It's I'm focusing on living in the end. And then 3, which mends the two together, is the faith of already living in the end and not having to have a desire anymore. And then moving on to your next, finding the next desire, which implies that you already have the one thing done.
Yeah.
And then living from the end every single day. So it's not I'm letting go as in I'm never going to think about it. It's I'm letting go as in I'm living the life from now. I'm living the things that I'm doing every day is I'm doing the things that if my desire was already finished.
Excellent explanation. You get an A+ for your report.
Thank you.
I love how you explain that. That's really,
Thank
really
you.
Cool. Yeah.
And also not implying taking action because that what we're talking mental, not talking outside.
Yep. Yeah.
Outside action, let everything come to you. You don't. Neville says you do nothing on the outside at all. I was listening to, which I love and which you should all go listen to, John Sharonde, which you were coached with. You coached with him. He said that he meditated, I think, for 3 days. Sat in his bed for 3 days straight, saying, "I am wealthy," and he inherited, I think, just like $10,000 out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Didn't even get out of his bed.
I know. And he meditates for solid days on end.
Days.
He doesn't even do an hour. He does like days.
Days.
Yeah.
5 days, and he'll go weeks.
I know. He sits in a
I
room.
love that guy.
I know. I know. I know. He's just so dedicated. It's brilliant, you know.
Yeah. He's very, very aware.
He's soaked in Neville, marinated and soaked in Neville. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah. It's taking things like way past what you've done before. And then you see, like when you think about it, like you think, okay, if I have a desire and I spend 3 days constantly meditating on it, really, is that long in your whole life? Like people spend months trying to manifest or years. If you just say to them, look, just stay in your bed for 3 days over the weekend when you're not working and just solidly work on the I am of that.
Right.
Is it worth giving up a weekend for? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like it's worth it. You just or I am loved when you're feeling like you want a specific person, or I am wealthy when you've got no money or no job or whatever, you know. It's correcting it within you. Yeah, I love John. I love John. He's an odd certified organic nut.
Oh man, he's the best. He's the best. I love John.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys love him as much as I do, because he's needs to be out in the world more. People need to access him.
Oh man, yeah, he's incredible.
He is. But yeah, I love how you've applied this stuff, Seth. I think that, you know, you're really flying with it too. Just the stuff you've shared so far around.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, you have. And you know, helping your mum and your sister and different people manifest. You're actually extending out, it's not just about me, it's about those I love, and using this skill
Definitely
for other people too.
Yeah, and my dad's also a big conscious creator now too.
Is he?
Yeah, he has been. I didn't really mention him in the last video, but yeah, he's a huge conscious creator, and we always talk Neville every single day.
No way.
Yeah. Yes.
Ah, that's fantastic. It's good having.
And he actually. Oh yeah, and he's part of the business that we started. So.
The phone business.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. It's good to have family members. My mum reads Neville, so I talk to my mum about Neville and about Louise Hay and different things. But yeah, just having someone in the family that you can say, hey.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you get into a conversation, especially like a one-on-one conversation, and talking about something like that, the feeling in the air is kind of just, I don't even know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
But when you have like a one-on-one conversation about this kind of stuff, it just changes the whole entire mood of the world.
Yeah, and it changes the dynamic between you and that family member, like forever.
Yeah, for sure.
Forever. Yeah.
Yep.
So what else do you want to share? Is anything popping into your head about what else is going on?
So I have used it to help other people lately.
Yeah.
So what I started doing, and I had this guy in the office, one of my coworkers, he kind of was going through like a little rough spell. So I started saying every day, and my whole office knows now, is just I walk around all day saying out loud, I love my life. I love my life. So now every time he sees me, he just says he loves his life. And it's literally, he doesn't even realize that he's doing it to himself, but it's manifesting more great things into his life. Yeah. So he walks around now and says, he's like, I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. And then I turn it into, because he's married, and when I look at him now, I go, I love my wife, I love my life. And he says it right back to me, and everything's been actually like on the up and up for him. So it's been really awesome.
Oh, that's great. Has he told you it's on the up and up?
Yes. Like he came to me, he's like, dude, he's like, these past few weeks, so many good things have been happening, not only here but at home.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, it's because of, you know, I'm pretty much putting an affirmation into your mind all day.
Yeah, you've done that. Have you seen that movie Inception?
Yeah. You've talked about it, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
No, well, it's doing that. You actually put you plant a thought into someone's head, and that's a positive inception. And then they take it on. They take it on. So
Yeah. And then I don't ever look at anybody on the outside as someone on the outside. It's all on the inside, because everything's imagination.
Yeah.
Don't look at anything on the outside and say it's on the outside. Everything on the outside is just a materialization of the inside.
Yeah.
And of you, not of just you.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Yeah. You. Everything's you. Yeah. If you can remember that. Yeah. It's hard that concept at first, but yeah, once you get there, everyone's you pushed out, and everything is you pushed out as well.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we had a 30-second video, and I had to say 3 things, I'd say everyone is you pushed out, have faith, and that everything's imagination, pretty much, which means everybody's you pushed out.
Yeah. And self-love.
Self-love. That's the other thing. I was looking for the word. Why didn't I say the word? Yeah, self-love, definitely. Because self-love, when you love yourself, if everything on the outside's you and you love yourself, everything then must love you.
Exactly. That's why when you're in a state of that person doesn't love me and you feel unloved, they don't come back. It's because they're actually, the absence of them coming back to you is mirroring your unlovedness. That's how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a reflection. It's one big mirror.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good knowing that. So good knowing.
Yeah. And people need to not take the outside world so seriously either.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people take the outside world way too seriously. Actually, you should take the inside world way more seriously.
Yes, because the outside world is not fixed. It's not static.
No.
It moves.
No.
It only stays static when you stay static in your fixed, limiting beliefs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this stuff is good, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing.
It's good. So, tell me more.
Tell me more. All right. So, I'm trying to think. Like, there's big stuff, but if I talked about the big stuff, it's like it's gonna take a long time. But I want to go into smaller things, because smaller things take the same amount of effort as bigger things, but I can break it down faster.
Okay.
So, I haven't shared this story, and this was actually quite a long time ago, but it just always has stuck out in my head because it was when I first. I don't know if I was reading Neville yet, but it was when I first kind of started becoming aware of everything.
Yeah.
So I'm in line of the smoothie shop, and I'm sitting there in line, and I'm looking at the menu, like, what do I want? And then I ordered, and when I'm sitting in line, I'm wondering what would happen if a person's card didn't work, and they already made the smoothie. What would they do with the smoothie? Would they just give them to him for free? And I thought that, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm thinking, but whatever. That's just a cool thought. Yeah. So I get up to the window, I hand them my card, they swipe it, and they're like, for some reason your card's not working. And I'm like, what? Why is my card not working? And they're like, I don't know, we'll try it again. So they swiped it again, and then they said, yeah, your card's not working, but we already made your smoothie, so here you go. And they gave it to me for free. I was like, okay. And I drove away, and I drove all the way home. I'm like, what the heck? That was amazing. So it was an instant manifestation, and that's why it stuck out, because it was just so instant.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
Yes.
Which means you can use that as a cookie cutter for other things. Right.
It's you use the same process for every single thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use your imagination, and especially the senses. My favorite being touch. So when you use like imaginal touch, and then you just keep impressing that over and over again.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen.
Okay, give me an example of what you use imaginal touch for, because a lot of people use visual and hearing the most. Yeah. So how do you use touch?
So
an example.
So an example would be if I want to manifest money.
Yeah.
I'd feel myself fanning the money out in my hand.
Yeah.
And then counting.
Yeah.
Like maybe putting it down on a table, feeling my hand hitting the table, and then counting the money out and just feeling everything like that.
Yeah.
So that's a good way, because I think that's more powerful, because we're constantly using hearing.
Yes.
The hearing is always happening.
Yeah.
So when you use something else that you don't use as often, you're more aware of it.
That's true. That's true. It makes you consciously focus more.
Yes.
Rather than
definitely.
zoning out because you see it or you hear it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're always seeing a scene and we're always hearing ourselves talk in our heads.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Nice.
Yes. What else? Hit me with your best shot.
Yeah, I just think that whole consciously selecting, like you did with the smoothie, like you didn't really actually go, I'm going to consciously select that the smoothie's given to me for free. You just thought, gee, what would happen if? But that even that what would happen if went out and launched and pulled something back in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
The other day, I'm going to share one with you. The other day, I go walking every day, and then sometimes I ring my law of attraction friend. And I said we were talking about manifesting money, because she was referring to something. And I said to her, I have this thought now that money comes in faster than I can spend it. I said, that's what I think. And I said, I don't know where that came from, but I liked it when it came into my head. I went, oh yeah, money comes in faster than I can spend it. Anyway, she said, gee, I've never thought of it that way. So we were discussing, money coming in and people are just, money's coming from wherever. It doesn't matter how. The end result is that money's coming in faster than I can spend it. Where it comes from is irrelevant. End result, it's coming in. So I get home. Let me just switch off. Somebody's trying to ring. Let me just switch it off. Driving me nuts. Yeah, so I said to my friend, I said it's such a foreign thought for so many people that money, because we always go, money goes out quicker than it comes in. That's a lot of people's. It's like the reverse flip of that very limited belief that so many people have.
Right.
So while I'm talking to her, I had my headphones on, I had my phone in my pocket, I'm walking, we're talking, we're laughing. Then I hear this notification. Now, I switch off all my notifications except for when money comes in, because if money comes in, that means I have to do something for someone, right? So I'm walking and then I get a PayPal ping notification that someone had paid me money. And I said to her, how funny, we're just talking about money coming in faster than I can spend it, and then this money's come in. Anyway, it happened 3 times in an hour. 3 times. It was like ping, 15 minutes later, ping, 15 minutes later, ping. Anyway, I started laughing. I said, isn't it funny? We are just talking about this and our focus is on it and we're laughing and I'm walking and I'm feeling free and having a good time. And very quickly, within a condensed, it was less than 45 minutes. I walked for an hour and we talked for about 15 minutes. And then within that 45 minutes, it happened 3 times. And I thought, that is how you create money. That is how you create a free smoothie. That is how you create someone loving you. That is how you create everything. You talk about it. You share a new story. Now, I wasn't consciously going, I'm going to manifest money in the next hour. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just walking, having a good time and talking about this wonderful new belief and affirmation. Because I grew up, quite poor. No one in my family bought any property. Everybody was renting. No one ever went to university. No one ever went to college. People had manual jobs, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it was the mindset that went with that wasn't the good part of my childhood.
For sure.
So that was such a great example. It was the day before yesterday, and I just laughed because I had one of the biggest financial days I've ever had on record that day, and I did nothing.
That's awesome.
So it just sometimes like you say, the work is internal. The work is internal. Mental, emotional. Mental, emotional.
Yeah, definitely. And emotional is more important than mental, because the mental is the byproduct of the emotional. So let's say you get that feeling. I mean, everything's a feeling, and everything's a state. So when you get
Yes.
into a state of love, you'll get thoughts that correspond lovingly. But if you're focusing on the absence of it, then you have the feeling absence, which then creates the thoughts. I don't focus more on creating these thoughts. I make the feeling first, and then the thoughts are the byproduct, because everything's a predetermined state. So thoughts are going to come in as the way you feel.
Wow, that's interesting, because I do it totally the other way around. I haven't heard someone describe it, but there's different ways around the circle. Describe it a bit more. Describe it a bit more.
Okay, so say I want to get into like a feeling state.
Yeah.
So instead of thinking.
Seth, let's go a step back. Let's use an example. Say you feel like you want more money.
Yeah.
Let's use the money example, because we started with that. You want more money, and you're feeling like, where do you start? I don't have enough money. Do you have that state to start?
Okay, so you observe where you are.
Yeah.
And then you create the feeling that you want to feel. So the feeling of wealth it's got a particular feeling to it. So you feel that like in the center of your chest.
Okay.
And then the thoughts will pour in correspondingly that that contribute to wealth.
Okay, let me describe to me, what is the feeling of wealth for you? What does that feel like in your chest? How does that feel?
Okay, so it's almost like love in a way.
Okay.
But instead of switching the love maybe to a person, you then flip and switch to love. You love money.
Okay.
So you put the love, that love feeling state on money, and then the money thoughts come in. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just, I've never heard it described like that, because I always go around the circle a different way. So this is fascinating to me, because everybody has their own unique way of applying stuff and getting a result. So yeah, I find that really interesting. But yes, the state, like Neville says, the state, and it's like people say, well, what does that mean? What's a state? The state is a feeling place.
Right.
Where you no longer feel poor. You don't feel poor. You feel the opposite of poor, which is, for me, when I do wealth, it's a feeling of freedom.
Yeah.
So when I was poor, I couldn't imagine being wealthy, because I'd never been wealthy. I'd never had money. So I couldn't access that feeling. It was like, well, what does that feel like? Once I've got money, I'll know. But I remember thinking, well, wealthy people are free. So if I try and feel free, then the money must have to come.
Yeah.
And that's how I got around the circle. So yeah, this is really interesting hearing how you do it, because you do it in a completely different way, but you end up in the same spot.
Yeah. So I just focus, if you don't know how to feel wealthy, I'd say, how would I feel if I had X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
Create that feeling. When the feeling comes, the thoughts will pour in.
Okay. Cool.
And it works vice versa, because obviously there's cause and effect. So
yeah, I like that. That's a really interesting. I just like how you assembled that. That's so that just really fascinates my brain, because it's and you don't know why you do things a certain way. It's just what you're drawn to do. So
yeah. Definitely.
That's good. So when you got the job that you're in, did you visualize having the job, or did you visualize the job and having a really good salary that made you feel respected?
I just imagined having the job.
Okay. And then the money was just a byproduct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Cool. That's really, I just like the mechanics of how you put that together, that the thoughts will follow. That's really fascinating.
Yeah, so that's, especially if you get caught up in these thoughts are coming in. It's like
Yeah.
stuff that you don't want to think, because that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Where you're like, man, these just don't feel like thoughts that I've even produced.
Yeah.
And it's because it's usually because the way you're feeling is why those thoughts are producing those thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's like when you feel unloved, trying to radiate love to a specific person, you're not going to be able to access doing that with any kind of, like, it just doesn't, it's a weak signal. It's weak.
Yeah.
But if you're feeling loved and wanted and secure, and you having a really good day around that, then doing a specific person meditation and radiating love to them will be a strong signal, because you're in the right zone and your head will follow what you're trying to do. Your head and your emotions will line up to create that strong signal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, I like how you went around the circle there. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can see the snow on the ground behind you. My God.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How cold is it?
I don't know, like 20 degrees.
20 degrees. That's really cold.
I
I hope you've got the heater on in the car.
do have the heater on in the car.
Good.
I'm just hoping it's not making too much noise.
I can't hear it at all.
Okay, good.
No,
good.
I can't hear anything.
All right, cool.
Thank God for Apple headphones.
Yes, seriously. I think we said that last video too, but man, they just need that credit.
They do a good job. We got to give credit, for what they do. That was someone's imagination creating that too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the next thing we should touch is that everything already exists.
Okay.
Because I don't think people wrap their heads around that.
Yeah.
Because everything's already like predetermined. So say you want to manifest a specific person, you're already there in a specific state. It's just that you need to move to that state in order to reap the harvest of the seed that you planted.
Nice. You're a real poet. I love it. No, it's true.
Oh,
the seed and the harvest. That's exactly right. It's so okay. So go into a bit more detail of the mechanics of that example.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of how to break it down. It's just you have to unravel your head and let yourself realize that everything has already happened, everything is already done, everything already exists, every timeline is already there. They are coexisting.
Yeah.
So it's how do I get from point A to point B, and then when I figure that out, not going back to how do I figure out to go from point A to point B, but staying in point B.
Yeah.
So you're at a current state right now. You don't have what you want.
Yeah.
What you want already exists. It's just you got to go to that place in your head, and then you will automatically shift into that reality.
Yeah. Nice.
Does that break down the mechanics a little bit more?
Look, I'm going to be extremely jealous when you start your YouTube channel and you get heaps of views because you're on it. It's brilliant. You have to go to it. That's exactly right. And you got to stop. You got to get out of the unwanted, unsavory state.
Right. Yeah. So right here is point A, which is where you don't have what you want.
Yeah.
And right here is point B, what you want. These are both coexisting at the same time, right?
Yes.
Okay. So right here, right now you're living right here.
Yeah.
And you want to live right here, which I already explained. So you have to live here in your head, and then you will automatically get lifted up to here.
Yep.
And then while you're living here in your head, if you're still down here, don't worry, because this is just going to come automatically, because it's just gonna flow. Everybody's gonna play their part, and then that you're pretty much shifting into that reality, and this one's getting left behind. But you can't go back to this one and say, I'm not here yet, because you're living from here.
Yeah. And you got to stop the speech and the thought that goes with part A.
Right. That's
doing that.
Yeah. And that's one of the definitions of that's a part of letting go is this, just slap it down.
Yeah.
Don't just forget about it.
Just forget about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I get a lot of emails where people say, oh, look, can you help me? And then the next sentence is my problem is, or my issue is, or I need help with. And the thing is, it's that, you know, people are actually asking me for help. So that's fine. But when you're doing your daily life, you got to stop doing that. My problem is. What you got to do is, my solution is. And you got to stop doing the my problem is part. That's the thing you got to stop doing. You got to turn away and just use it as, okay, there's what I don't want. What I want is, and you got to put your focus, your thought, your emotion on rising up to match, like you say, to match the vibration, the energy, the mental state that goes with having that thing, whatever that thing is. So saying constantly my problem is, talking to your friends about my problem is, people saying, oh, how are you going? And you launch with my problem is keeping you in quicksand.
Yeah, definitely.
That whole habit of continuing to do that.
Yeah, that's just going to suck you back to the same reality you're living in.
Yeah. And like you said, they all exist. It's like the books on the bookshelf. You know, all the other books exist, but you just choose not to read them, and you select the one that you want and you read that book and you get good at it, which is, I am wealthy, I am loved, you know, whatever you're trying to manifest. I have a wonderful job, whatever it is that is currently the thing that you want.
Yes.
So, yeah. Conscious selection fascinates me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's like you say, everything exists. It's just, what are you going to put your total focus on and totally let go of the peripheral?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I remember when I was in Sydney, I was still locked into a job. I was working for one client. I was self-employed, but I was working for one client. So really, it just felt like I had a job. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I feel so trapped. And I thought, right, that is the last time you say that statement to yourself. And then what I said was, what do I want? I want to be free. So I said to myself, I put a Post-it note on my computer. It said, I am free. Every time I opened up my laptop, I would see that Post-it note. And then I thought, okay, now while I'm driving to work, and because I was moving around to all these shopping centers around Sydney, I thought, okay, now while I'm driving, some places are 15, 20 minutes away. Other times I was going somewhere that was an hour and 15 minutes away. So I thought, right, this is where you practice your I am free, and that you have cut the cord with a job, and that you're fully doing meaningful work that you love to get out of bed for. And the thing I had to let go of was, I'm making a lot of money in this job. How am I going to match this amount of money somewhere else? So that was my limiting belief. So, you know, it's like they weren't my only source. I had to go into, they're not the only source of my supply. I am, you know, I am me. They are only one book on the bookshelf. Put that book down and pick up another book, which is, you are working fully for yourself. You love what you do, and I am free. That was how I got unhooked from being trapped. But yeah, when you're saying to yourself, I'm trapped, I'm trapped, I'm trapped, I'm trapped, you know, every time you drive to work, boy, oh boy, does that create another year's worth of doing a job you don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It is the thing that Neville talks about again and again. Change your state and then hold it.
Yeah.
Hold it during the day. And I know you lose it sometimes, and that we're human and that's normal, but then you go back to meditation. You reactivate it. You do it through affirmations. However you want to get there, get yourself back into that state of I am free in this particular instance. So thank God for Neville.
I know. He's the man.
I know.
Him and John.
Yeah, him and John. I know. John studied. He read At Your Command for a whole year, John did.
I know.
One thin book for one whole year.
I know. I was actually I've actually been listening to it every day because I listened to him say that, and I was like, man, I should do that. Because then you're reading the same book every single day, and then you're picking more and more up out of it.
You are, and you, rather than scattering your energies, reading and listening lots of different things, you get really good at one thing. I mean, I find, you know, I've listened to Abraham Hicks and Catherine Ponder and Joseph Murphy and all those books, and, you know, there's an endless amount, which they all contribute to your learning. But when I solidly focused on reading Neville, and for me, my version of At Your Command was The Law and the Promise. I read that book for an entire, I think it was 2 years. I just reread those stories over and over, and then I'd break down the mechanics of, I'd highlight it, and then I'd go, okay, how do I apply what they did to my situation? And I focused my way out of, you know, $36,000 worth of debt, a bad relationship, work I didn't like. I went through every part of my life and used that book to winch myself right out of all those situations. But yeah, it's like sometimes you just get one book and it just speaks to you. It's like it's the marrow in your bones. It is what you are meant to read for you to lift off. So what's your book? What would be your book, Seth?
Ooh, it's a good one. I don't know. I have every single Neville book under the sun.
Yep.
So trying to pick between all those is really hard.
It is hard. It is. And he does often repeat similar things in different books.
Different books, yeah.
Yeah.
At Your Command's really good.
Yeah.
Law and the Promise is really good. So, I mean, those two, I mean, you and John, I read both those books on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
One I'm reading right now, which is based off Neville's teaching, is called Why We Delay Our Manifestations. Okay. And I've been reading that one every single day. And that one's it's based off Neville, and I read it every single morning. And then I also have a book that has it's like a daily quote, and it's all Neville quotes. So nice. I read those every single day, and usually listen to. I'm trying to think of which one I listen to the most.
What, the YouTube? Neville YouTube?
No, I have my Audibles, like the books. I could check right now, but I'm gonna go off air for a second.
Yeah, have a look. It'll help everybody.
All right. Hopefully it doesn't cut us off.
No.
You can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so At Your Command's up there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I earned a badge. Let's see. The Law and the Promise, those are my first two.
Yep.
Let's see. Manifesting Miracles. I listen to that one a lot. You ever read Resurrection?
Yeah, a long time ago. I don't really remember it.
That one's really good. Awakened Imagination. Feeling is a Secret. I really like that one.
Yeah.
Power of Awareness. Amazing.
Yeah.
Your Faith is Your Fortune.
Yes.
Amazing. 5 Lessons. Seed Time and Harvest. Freedom for All. The Art of Believing. Step into the Picture. Yeah. Control Your Inner Conversations. Out of This World. Out of This World is amazing.
Yeah.
Immortal Man, which is not one of his books, but it's a bunch of his lectures all put together, and then Believe in It. I listen to those all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have over the same thing, you know, over and over and again. And there's one called the Wealth Mindset. I listen to that one quite frequently too. There's other ones too. The Power of Limited Imagination, Infinite Power, Divine Signs, I Am the Cause, Affirm the Reality, Persistent Assumption. But the ones that I listed first are my mains.
Yeah. Well, that's a good library. You're going to have to buy a house soon.
Well, I have them all on my phone, and they're all audio. So.
Oh, okay. Audiobooks. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I listen to those on the way to work.
Just for the viewers, where did you get them from so they can go and get them?
Just audible.com.
Audible.com. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, look, I think if everybody reads a bit of Neville every day, you just lift off to a completely different place.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, it is really, it's like information that sets you mentally free.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He's definitely my favorite of all time. Still to this day. Yep. You know, love lots of other people, but I still I just still think he's the only one that ever said imagination creates reality, and imagine is that God is your human imagination. He's the only one that's ever said that.
Yeah.
That I've ever heard. So the power, you cannot, that power is.
Yeah. It's speechless. It makes you speechless.
It does. It's like, wow, once you've been given that information, then it's like, how do I harness that? How do I use that for the good of myself and for the good of those around me, and to be someone who pays that forward, like you did with your I love my life at work.
Yes. And it's still a daily mantra at my work. More than one people use it now.
It's just so funny. It's like you're shifting the energy in your work off place. You're just shifting the energy there. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what? Even those that are resistant will get dragged along behind the rest of you.
Yep. Yeah, there's a good 7 of us now.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That say I love my life every single day.
Wow. Do you just walk past each other and say it?
Yeah, that's exactly what we do.
That's so funny. Does anybody look at you and go, there's that weird guy that does that stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, who cares about them? Who cares if they're doing
what? One guy was like, man, why do you say I love my life so much? Like, what's about that? I'm like, man, I just love my life.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing more to it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It's such a good affirmation. I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been using it. I used it before I even knew about any of the law or anything. I actually used it back when I was like 13, and I would say it all the time, and then I still use it to this day. It's great. It's a great one.
That's a 5-year affirmation. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I usually do it in like 3 intervals. I'll be like, I love my life, I love my life, I love my life. And people, the guy at work, I'll be like, I love my life, I love my wife, I love my life.
Is that what he does?
That's what we both do.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh.
And if anything, when everything goes wrong, like if everything that we could probably get frustrated at, we both look at each other and go, but everything's okay because we love our lives.
We love our lives, yeah. That's great. It must be a fascinating workplace having that all going on.
It definitely is.
Oh, Seth, I do love you. You're full of beans.
Oh, man. I love you too. I love everybody. I love my life.
No, you got to say it 3 times. Come on.
I love my life. I love my life. I love my life.
Oh, God. Well, is there anything else you want to
Oh, man. I mean, I could talk all day, but you ask me questions and I'll answer.
Ask you
How about
questions.
that?
Okay.
Just ask me something.
Okay, when you use your imagination at the moment, are you creating scenes? Like, are you using the imaginal stuff for revision? Are you using it to create a fresh new thing? Like you said, you use touch, but
all the above.
Like, do you go into imagination and say, okay, I'm going to consciously, because Neville talks about controlled vivid imagination and using the senses. So do you go into imagination thinking about, okay, I'm going to use touch, I'm going to use sound, I'm going to manifest this, which senses apply to it? Do you break it down before you create an imaginal scene?
No, I usually just go, I know what I'm going to create.
Yeah.
And then I go into the scene and I use one sense as my main, and then the others I use as secondary senses. So say touch is the one I'm going to focus on the most.
Yes.
But a byproduct of touching, maybe like I'm touching a table and I can hear the table knock.
Yes.
So then that automatically you can hear.
Yeah.
But then you're also seeing the scene at the same time while you're feeling it.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of a byproduct of it.
Yeah, you're touching the table, you hear the sound of it, you see the table with your eyes.
Yeah. And for some reason this just popped in my head, which I think is a good one. is to put yourself in the scene, because I feel like putting a sense of taste in there would be also good. Is
Yeah.
maybe imagine chewing a piece of gum while you're in the scene.
Because I was thinking, how is he going to get that? How's he going to get that one? I remember I did a YouTube with Dan Radio Style, and he was talking about manifesting a car and using the senses. And I said, well, you can use sight, and you can use, sound. You can hear the horn, and you can use touch. You can feel the dashboard. And he said, yeah, and you can use taste. He said, you can lick the dashboard. So I was just had that thought of how are you going to introduce taste into that one? But it doesn't have to be, like you say, chewing a piece of gum while you're in that scene. It's still activating the taste, even though it's not directly linked. I mean, in daily life, you do often chew gum while you're doing other things. So it brings in, that's
it brings it. It brings in another sense, so that makes it that much more real.
It does. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. So you've got your main sense, and then you've got secondary senses that aren't as prominent.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
Yes.
I remember when I was visualizing, like I really wanted like lots of trips in a year. And it took me about a week to work out, okay, if I'm visualizing, like it was getting it reduced down to one really simple scene. And I was thinking, okay, I could get on the plane and I could see myself landing in London or France or wherever I wanted to go. But that makes the scene quite long, because you're getting on the plane, then you see them bringing you the food, you smell the food, you taste the food, you watch a movie, you walk around, you go to the toilet, the person next to you says, excuse me, I need to go to the toilet. So I was trying to add in all these details, right? And then I was thinking, God, this makes the scene really long.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why. I was thinking, okay, it's got to be more reduced and concentrated and short, and it implies the flight. And then the idea came to look at the passport, and it had lots of travel stamps in it.
Yeah.
So that removed my whole first scene, and it reduced it down to me just sitting wherever I was, opening my passport and seeing, London, Sydney, France, Paris, New York, wherever I wanted to go. And that the stamps are all different colors. I mean, these days, only, recently they've stopped a lot of passport stamps because it's biometric. You just put it through the little ATM machine.
Oh.
But I thought, no, I remember passport stamps. I'm still going to use that. Even though it's an old way of doing it now, it's not relevant. It still means something to me. So flipped through the passport, saw the stamps. It was like, woohoo, I've been on lots of trips. So it was just, sometimes you got to work out, how can I reduce this thing I want into something very simple? One image that implies the end result. Yeah. So, So that's
awesome.
That. Yeah. Working
and
ways around it.
Yeah, and making one simple scene that you can go back to a lot. A very simple scene that could maybe be just one image posted on your brain. Yeah. That way every time you think of it, you don't have to sit there for 15 minutes and do something.
Yeah, that's quite tiring. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just copy and paste all day. Copy paste. That's
it. So are you obviously you got more than one thing you want to manifest. Do you go through multiple scenes before you go to bed?
Before bed varies on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I do a lot of revision at night.
Okay.
And I also I usually once. I usually go to sleep always doing the same scene.
Okay.
And then other than that, if there's anything that I kind of want to fix or anything I want to tweak or anything like that, I do it at that time.
You mean, are you revising stuff from the past or stuff that happened that day?
Just stuff that happened the day. Even if it was good, I'll revise it to make it even better.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's what a lot of people miss too. It's you don't have to only revise the bad. You can revise things good to make them better.
Ah, very nice. So you just run through your day from the morning you got out of bed and you will go through and you revise it once?
Yeah, I usually hit key points throughout the day that I remember the most.
Okay.
So I don't revise the whole entire day. I just hit those key scenes
Yep.
And then I tweak those key scenes out of the day.
Okay. That's fun, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
my life. I love my life. I love my life.
So how long do you do that when you go to bed? When you actually hit the pillow to when you go to sleep? How much revision do you do?
Sometimes I'll fall asleep doing revision.
Yeah.
Other times I'll finish and then I'll go on to the next thing. I just try to have the most fun I can.
Yeah.
And then I usually have my earbuds in and I throw on affirmations.
Yeah.
And then I'll listen to the affirmations through my whole entire day. I'll wake up the next morning, my affirmations will still be going.
Wow.
So they don't stop the whole entire night. So it's pretty amazing. There was oh man, I'm so happy that this is something that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Is I kind of had like an out of body experience. It was crazy. And I've had like a lot of them lately, but this one stuck out to me the most. So I had my affirmations in and I woke up and I was like, all right. And I fell back asleep. But so this is so hard to explain, but it was insane. So I woke back up in my bed. My affirmations were playing. I could hear them. And so, but I couldn't move. And I was like looking up and I couldn't move. And I was like, man, what's going on? So I like tried to throw myself out and so I could try to move again. And it just forced me to open my eyes. And I woke up again into another level of a dream.
Yeah.
So I woke up again and now I'm in the shower and I could hear my affirmations in the shower going. And I thought I was awake at this point because I thought I had just woke up from a dream. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so I just woke up from this dream. Now I'm in the shower. And then that ended up being another dream. So I woke up again and I was in my bed again. And I was like, holy crap, I just went through 3 different dreams. What is going on?
Yeah.
But I was in another dream again. It happened about 7 times till I finally actually woke up in real life.
Wow.
And then when I woke up in real life, I still couldn't move my body. And I like had to peel myself out of my body and like it slingshot back in and I woke up.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. It is like a slingshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened? Anything like that to you?
Yeah. Yeah, that slingshot. Wow. That's exactly the word I use too, slingshot. That's what. Yeah,
because you like peel out.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
yeah. It is, and you kind of go, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to watch that movie Inception. It's about dropping through dream levels. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. That was the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, yeah. I think you can just watch it on YouTube, Seth.
Yeah?
Full movie Inception. Yeah, it's an old movie. I mean, it's old. It's probably, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. Like, it's in this decade.
That's not old.
No, but it's old as in it's not a new release. But yeah, it's exactly what, honestly, I've watched it like 50 times because it was exactly that stuff. And it's about planting a thought in someone else's head. In this movie, it's actually in a negative way, but it's the result that you get and that you can actually do it in totally the positive way. But it was dropping through the dream levels that was so fascinating to me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
No?
No.
Why not?
Well, when you do these interviews, you just, your head explodes with really good stuff and you just.
Yeah, it does. It's pretty amazing. You get like a sense of high.
You do.
It's like crazy. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's like your body's containing all this energy. It's like,
yeah.
Good to go and exercise after an interview because it really fires you up.
Yes. Yes.
I love my life. I love my life. I love my life.
I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. I need everybody to start saying that here.
You know what? I think you're going to start a new thing here. This will be the new catchphrase.
All right. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Your intro to your next video better be I love my life. I love my life. I love my life.
Yeah, that'll be for you, Seth. It'll be for you. Yeah.
Oh man. So for your audience, since you do have, most of your audience is for specific people. So if you're at this point of the video, take everything I said and apply it to your specific person.
Yeah.
and it's going to work.
Yeah.
I know I haven't spoken about it the whole entire video, but it works for this same process works for every single thing. And
Yeah.
don't let anybody on the outside tell you that you can't do it, because there it is you echoing your fears that you can't do it.
Yeah.
But you can.
And like you
Anything.
said, the subject as in, you can just put a big X where it doesn't matter what the subject is, money, a job, a trip, a specific person. Like you say,
it's universal.
It applies to everything, because everything is you. So if you change you and you do all this stuff that we talked about, it's the conscious selection. It's the conscious selection. So hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Well, my friend, I better go and eat.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an hour, and I could probably go for another hour, but that would be a long video.
That's all right. We'll do it again.
All right. That was amazing. I loved the talk. I hope everybody could benefit from it. I want everybody to love their lives, and love their lives. Use that as a new affirmation, please, everybody, because it works. Because that is a blanket. That is an umbrella statement that helps you with everything.
It does. It does. And you know what? You've just taken it from your head to your office, and now you've taken it to 10,000 people around the world.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy I could do that.
Yeah, that's your contribution. You paid it forward today, and it will now, people will now echo out and take it to their people.
Awesome. Man, that makes me feel great.
Yeah. No, it's good. I love it. It's so simple, Seth. It's simple.
It's simple. I mean, it really consists of something so simple, but our human brains complicate it so much, because we think about too many logistics and too many of these things that go into it, and blah, 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 blah. But the simple process gets you the best result.
Yeah. Look at Kamal's book, I Love Myself.
I've read it.
Yeah. I mean, that was the most simple book. You can read it in under an hour, but look at the message that was given. And it was exactly the simplest things. It's doing them, rinse, repeat, do the simple thing, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. Becomes a daily habit. It's that simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, my friend, we will go. And as we always say, to be continued.
Awesome. I love everybody. We all love our lives. We all love our lives. We all love our lives.
Thank you so much, Seth, for popping on. And stay on the line. I'm going to unhook us from the recording, and then we can say goodbye.